Here we go. What's up, guys? Okay, yeah, so that could have gone better. We've had better starts in the past. My microphone is super good. You might even be able to hear the distinct sound of my daughter crying downstairs. Yeah, it's there. She's just upset because Mama's making food and Mama's in the kitchen. And Baby's not allowed in the kitchen. And I bet you can even hear the ice ringing in my glass as I drink down this bourbon. Imbibing. Alright, so we know what we're here for. We're here for some CPL action. I'm here to provide it. Finally got this cast up and started. Let's boot up Starcraft. Today we're going to get into Week 3 games. We'll be looking at Tier 2. And we're going to watch the teams of FlashCoin Whales and Clique. Schmooze on over here. Hang on. Alright. No picture. Yeah, I got you. Hang on. I'm going to switch it over to this. You should capture this. Alright. Here's today's matchups. Tell me you guys can see this and it looks alright. I put this together in like 5 minutes, so I hope it's not too garbagey. But yeah, we have 6 matchups today. Quite a bit of casting to do. And a lot of Protoss, right? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Protoss on the board. Okay, so for our very first series, we're looking at Lyoko versus Birdman MTS. One of 3 Protoss versus Protoss matchups. Here we go. Clique, FlashCoin Whales. Oh yeah, alright. And now for the game capture. Alright. Looks good on my end. As long as it's good on you guys' end, I'm just going to fire it up. Yep, everything looks great on my end. Well, let's begin the stream. For our very first match today, Clique versus FlashCoin Whales in Tier 2, we have on the left side, in the corner, on the top, Lyoko. And then the opponent in the upper right corner, Bird Turd. I like that. It's Birdman MTS. Game music. Hello, broadcaster. You guys love your music, don't you? Every time. There you go. You guys love it. The only downside is that the Protoss music is by far the worst out of the 3, and we're going to hear it a lot. Maybe I'll get some flack in the chat for that, but yeah, Shimmer, yep, firing off. How dare you? Okay, so map number 1 that we start on is Deja Vu. I've been finding myself having a little bit of trouble on this map because of just how the getting out of your natural works. It's all uphill from here, and you can easily get contained here. So I've been experiencing a little bit of trouble on this map. You know, it's easy to set up a container like right here. We'll see what the Protoss players would like to do. Looks like Lyoko here is going to get a first scout off. And Birdman, if he rotates clockwise, will get a last scout, which is a little unfortunate. Broadcaster voice is very high. I've got the microphone pretty close to my face, but I did just turn it down a notch. Go ahead and tell me if that's a little better or not. And that's better? Alright. Good. Alright, thanks for the heads up. And I'll continue adjusting things on the fly as we need. Alright, Lyoko already going to get a confirmation here that it's a core opening. It's nice, we don't see 2 gateways, so we know that there's not a ton of zealot pressure coming. Core opening for Lyoko as well. And then we just kind of sit back and be patient a little bit. Okay, Zealot. Nice. Gets the scout. Zealot on ramp. So pretty much identical. Identical. Birdman ahead just a little bit in workers. Goon range on the way for Birdman. Same with Lyoko, but just maybe a second or two behind. And in all likelihood, that second or two probably won't matter. It won't make a difference. Alright, so we have goons out on the map now. We're not going to be able to get up here. We'll see if he wants to try. We're trying to peek as much as we can, but we can't do any more with this probe. I like that we're sending it home. Yeah, sorry, no DT. Robo, though. I doubt that's exciting for you Protoss players, though. Nice. Okay. And just in case anybody doesn't know how that happened, because it did slip through the egg, you just mineral walk it. Which is to say, grab a worker and right-click on a mineral patch that's in vision, and you'll go through units. Just in case anyone didn't know that. Alright, so 2-gate Robo for Lyoko. Same here for Birdman. I like this. It's a very middle of the ground, very standard, very, very safe approach. Alright, going up to 3 gates, so 3-gate Robo. Ostensibly an observatory afterwards, coming now. There it is. And we should see something of the same effect on the other side here. Yeah, we do. And this observatory is just a little bit quicker, because we got the gateway on the other side before. We'll begin observer production, and this is shaping up to be a super duper standard PvP so far. We're just goon, robotics. You know, we'll probably branch out into Shuttle Reaver, because we already have the robotics facility, so. And indeed, here's the support bay. So Birdman indicating that he's going to go into shuttle, 2-gate shuttle. I'll have a faster Reaver as well. So really, the game we're looking at here is 3 gateways versus 2 gateways and a Reaver. So that Lyoko will ostensibly have more units because of the 3 gates. Birdman will have less gateway units, but will have access to Reaver very quickly. And in fact, Lyoko's going to try to push out with this high gateway count advantage. And I don't think... I'd like to check. If I was Lyoko, I would just send the obs in, like, right here. Just make sure there's not a nexus here, and also check the ramp for units. And here we go. We're going to peek in. I like this. Good so far. Here's his units. Gotta be careful. Okay, and a good response here from Birdman. I'm going to go ahead and take out the eggs, which will widen the path of the ramp, so units can flow downward much, much easier. And here is the Reaver. Now that the Reaver's here to defend, I don't see this busting upward up the ramp at all. It's not going to happen. And in fact, this is going to force Lyoko to go back. Yeah, because we can't deal with a high ground Reaver. Low ground here. Oh, unless you're risky. Unless you're willing to risk it. Ooh, he gets close. Doing good so far defending. Guys, the Reaver's still alive. There it goes down. Not before getting off a pretty good Scarab, though. And also getting the Observer pick. And now it's 6 goons to 5. 5 that are very injured. But with the 3 gateway production behind, 3 goons reinforce. And Lyoko's going to push back in. Another Reaver is at the ready. It comes down to help just in time. Nice. Take a look back at the main bases. No further developments yet, but Lyoko has a Nexus up already at the natural. This is a huge lead if this gets secured in mining. Here's our shuttle. Now we can go mobile with the Reaver, which means that we can go mobile with the entirety of our army. But we'll see. We have the same thing over here on this side. Lyoko finally getting their first Reaver. I think we're going to try to make something happen here with this shuttle. Reaver and a goon. We'll go ahead and capture the action here. This should be pretty good. That's wide open. Nice. That was a juicy scarab. Alright, good stuff. That scarab hit put him firmly in the lead, worker-wise. 31 to 24. So, good harassment. Good use of the earlier shuttle Reaver. Birdman now establishing his own natural. And, you know, ooh, nice. The double Reaver shuttle right here ready. And by the time this gets up and mining, I think this will have equalized. So they're basically on pretty even footing from my perspective. But then again, you know, I don't play Protoss, so this matchup is foreign to me, and yet it's what we're going to watch the most tonight. Okay, armies are poised to fight. Birdman's going to go ahead and go in. Taking the fight. 2 Reavers. Nice. And good pickup control here. Very good pickup control here from Birdman. Yeah, and finishing off this Reaver and keeping this one alive. This is going to be a tough hold. We do have a high ground Reaver here, though, but we have to play this very carefully. This game is in a very sensitive spot right now. Nice! The probes come down and take out the Reaver. Excellent defense by Lyoko. Nice. Pulling the probes to do the dirty work. But as I say that, additional Dragoons reinforce in. And, yeah, it's just not enough. We have 1 Scarab left banked up here. And there just wasn't anything coming out, I guess. So, yeah, Lyoko calls it. And Birdman takes game number 1. Well. That will be that, and that'll put us into game number 2. Yeah, Vint55 in the chat, good game from both. I would agree. I do like that there was a divergence just as the mid-game started. Went from 2 to 3 gateways, and then earlier Reaver on the other side, so we kind of saw how that difference was and how the fights translate thereafter. Here we go, same players, game number 2. Map is on Eclipse. Gross. I'm going to shift tab it. Thanks for playing on top versus bottom, guys. Alright. In the top right corner on Eclipse is the blue Protoss player. It's our Birdman MTS. Bottom left, red Protoss. Lyoko, who took game number 1. No. Yes. Bourbon. Now. Why did I pour it half and half? Oh my god, it's so strong. Woo. Okay. Let's see some pylons, boys. This is the juicy gameplay you all came to see. Alright, so it's going to be in-base pylons on a 2-player map. So we're both going to play straight up and honorable. I like that. I feel like Eclipse is one of the easier maps to get away with doing weird proxy stuff on because you know exactly where everything is at the start of the game. And there's lots of room to hide stuff on this map. Now, are we going to see some gases? Will we see gas? Well, we will for Lyoko. And there it is for Birdman. Alright. Scouts pass. Lyoko just slightly ahead in worker production, just ever so slightly. Also slightly ahead in gateway. And gas timing. Alright, so we have a nice optimized start here from Lyoko. We are missing a probe here. Double cybercore opening, alright. Yeah, ideal starts from game 1. We're going Zealot core. I guess that's right if you want to do this. I didn't know you cut probes. Maybe you don't. No, I don't think so, because Birdman's ahead one, right? So, yeah, I think we just missed a probe back there. That's all. Gonna start range for Birdman. We don't see range started yet for Lyoko. Not even sure if that's the intention. We're gonna find out as those minerals climb. And there it is. It starts spinning. Alright, so we have a fairly significant gap between range timings. And Birdman's probe is in the base and has been scouting very actively this entire time. So if he was paying close enough attention, we could actually see when the core started spinning. And then you could kind of subtract that from your timing. And if you're really good enough to stay on top of that, that's like your attack window. You know, if you're playing a strategy that allows for that kind of aggression. I think if you go gate robo, that window's probably nothing. It's probably not a big deal at all. So, gate into robo for both players. Zealot to goon, Zealot to goon. The interesting part of this game will be when the divergence happens. And even up here in the production panel, you can basically see it's just about the same with the exception of one gateway over here for Lyoko being in production. And there's a third. Alright, so mimicking game 1. We like 3-gate observatory. Yep, there it is. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a pretty strong build. It's pretty strong because the whole point is to have all of your gateways, all 3 of them, churning out goons at the same time, constantly. And if your opponent's on less than 3 gates, you're just going to have more. You're just going to have more stuff. So that's why it's pretty strong. You could just end up having a stronger military. Bourbon. Alright. So yeah, basically identical to game 1. We're getting support bay earlier for Birdman, and then, you know, the next gateway a little bit later So Birdman's going to have a lot less gateway military. So we should expect to see a lot less blue Dragoons on the map compared to red Dragoons. And yeah, you can see this 3 gateway production really starting to take effect now. Those 3 goons come out. And the same timing attack from game 1 as well, when the 3 goons immediately reinforce. So we just push out with the observer. And then take a nexus behind it safely. Yeah, I like this play from Lyoko. It's very safe. You have detection, you have a strong military, and you take a reasonable natural expansion. Now, what Birdman's doing is not wrong by any stretch. It's just a little bit riskier. We're going for faster tech. So it makes us a lot more dangerous, but we're a little bit more committed to it because our natural is that much slower, right? So the onus is kind of on Birdman to get something done, even though Lyoko has more gateways. And that's going to be the tricky part of how Birdman has to play this game out, is can he make value of the Shuttle Reaver combination that he spent his time and tech and money on. And fights and engages like this are a big deal. Already we lost a blue Dragoon on the low ground. You know, we're 6 goons for Birdman to, good lord, 10 here for Lyoko. And Birdman doing a little bit of a sneaky here. Gonna take the shuttle with a Reaver and a goon in it, and we're gonna go sideways. The intention being not to let Lyoko see that that's coming, and that should be a surprise drop. That will, again, just like game 1, do a lot of damage to the economy to help level out the difference, because, yeah, we can see Lyoko decided to do the same thing in game 1. This Nexus is done. And we have firm control of the opponent's natural. That's a really strong position to play. Now, so like if you're Lyoko here, you're probably feeling really good, because like all you have to do is just sit back and keep doing your thing. And you make this nice concave down here, and you defend anything that comes down this tiny ramp. And it's a pain to try and bust this. I missed this. Hang on. Sorry. Bourbon's kicking in. Alright. So yeah, this is kind of one of the, this is the big play here, right? This is like Birdman needs to make this work. And, my thing was blocking. What? Well, you saw that. Yeah, you guys saw that. I know you saw that. 11 to 22. And yeah, Birdman doing a really good job with goon production off of just 2 gates. That was very consistent. Because now we're up to 10 goons. Reaver. We broke down very easily. Yeah, and Lyoko has to GG. So, even though this is a strong build, and we were in a strong position, the divergence in the build, going for the faster tech that allows us to do a faster harass, can actually change the entire course of the game. So you can see here just how valuable it is to play this kind of route if you're willing to be a high-risk, high-reward player. Both builds were excellent, in my opinion. It's just that one managed to get away with its advantage. Alright, and that was a win for Birdman. Which is pretty sweet, because that ties us up and that gives us a series. No, because Birdman won the first game, right? Right? Did I do that right? Yeah, yeah, he won the first one. I did the score wrong. Yeah. Yeah! Sorry. Alright. How we doing, chat? Let's take a look at our stream where we're at. We're live for 27 minutes. We have 17 viewers. We're going to get into our second series here now between Memnon and Darkmoon. Switch you guys over. We'll get into it. Yeah, Dada, it's my neighbor. I don't think there's anything I can do about that. If you know any way I can buffer that out, you let me know. But they're fun people. They're really fun people. They're Hispanics and they party hard. And we're good neighbors. They've been really good neighbors for us for like 3 years now. Anyway, new series, new players. Back on map 1, it's Deja Vu. And in the top left corner here, I'm going to keep it on top versus bottom because I really like the distinction between red versus blue. And as the red Protoss, it's going to be Memnon, a CPL veteran who's been with us for quite some time. And a strong macro player. And on the bot right is the blue Protoss. It is Darkmoon. Making a name for themselves this CPL. Let's go. Cross spawns. Cross spawn in base gateways. Straight up. We'll take a look at the scouting directions and we'll see. It looks like the probes, yeah, they're going to scout clockwise, so they should find each other at the same time. Gases for both players. I'm expecting cores. There's one. Yep, there's the other. Alright, how's everybody feeling about this CPL season so far? We're in week 4 right now, so we should have some thoughts, right? I mean, the tier structure changed a little bit. We've got some new players. We've advanced, we've grown significantly. I'm curious to see if we can maintain growth. That would be quite interesting. Dada in the chat. My thoughts are, I'm in trouble for tomorrow's match. Why's that? Didn't practice this week, did you? I bet you didn't practice. Alright, so this is a little bit of a difference here. Memnon actually got inside Darkmoon's base. Darkmoon, not so fortunate. Memnon doing a really good job gatekeeping that ramp with the Zealot here. Now you practiced your ZVP, but it's in shambles. Practicing made you realize how much. Oh, I get it. Well, I'm not going to say anything, but our guy's pretty hyped to fight you. He's hyped up. He's got his boxing gloves on. Let's look at that there. Oh man, looks like I need moderators now. Alright, so core robo for Darkmoon. Yep, it's that time. Oddmean, I'll take care of it. Yeah, I trust you, Dada. I will mod you. I have to get around to it, though. First, I want to capture all the action here. We're going across the map here as Darkmoon. We're going across the map here. Second gateway. Robotics. Robotics close to the ramp, so I think we're going to see some Reaver action here. I think that's a bit of a tell. Ooh, a little bit of a mistake here. We went a little too far forward. Taking some free hits. No hull damage. But, like, now Darkmoon can hold the high ground here, right? And this is what I was talking about at the very beginning of the stream. Like, this can give people problems if you can't break up this. But we've got a natural nexus. Halfway done for Memnon. We got nothing here in the natural for Darkmoon. Instead, going to go ahead and get Observer, probably Support Bay right after this. And meanwhile, for Memnon, we have 3 gateways. No robotics facility, though. Alright, so instead of going higher tech, we've just gone bigger military, faster expansion. I like it, because Memnon can definitely defend this with 3 gateways. No problem. And I don't see anything here for Darkmoon that will give them a distinct advantage at this point. Gonna need to see some more tech. Bringing the troops home as well. We'll see what the play is. Memnon looking like he's in a pretty good position here. Pretty strong ground troops. We got 3 goons that are going to reinforce pretty quickly. Darkmoon staying on the center of the map. It looks like there's going to be an encounter here. High ground to low. Memnon with a distinct advantage here. Going to take a couple of free units here and push the advantage. Darkmoon a little bit out of position here with these goons. Does take some hull damage on this one. 4 left. That's definitely not enough, even on the high ground. We still have to go all the way back. We have to go home. And we'll see what we have here. An additional 2 goons here at the ready. A 7th one about to pop out. And a shuttle about to pop out, but the shuttle's not going to help if Memnon decides to be aggressive. Reaver now on the way. Memnon is being aggressive. We're going to check. We're going to see that there's no nexus here. That's going to be a big red flag. But a lone goon down here gets sniped, picked off. Every unit at this point really matters. And Memnon's going to go for it. Take a look at the uphill dragoons, the defenders. Memnon has the numbers advantage, but we'll see if it's enough to force his way up the ramp. I think it's enough. Gets most of the goons up the ramp, and the numbers just outnumbering the blue dragoons. Darkmoon has to GG. And that's game number 1. So, a good pull of the trigger there by Memnon, deciding to go for the kill. That definitely paid off. There's a point for Memnon. And that'll bring us into game number 2. Again, game 2, played on Eclipse. Alright, top right corner, blue Protoss spawning in. Darkmoon. And then bottom left, red Protoss. Memnon. Game number 2 here, we're going to see if Memnon can close it out or if Darkmoon can turn it into a full series. What's wrong with my overlay, Shimmer? Looks alright on my end. Bourbon time. Oh, God, it's strong. No scorecard over the minimap. Well, I'm sorry. Like the usual CPL casts. What are you I am the usual CPL cast. Actually, I'm not. I want to be. If I had more time, I would be. If you would like to know what the score is so far, I believe it's shift-click up by 1 series versus FlashCoin Wales. Unless I got the teams mixed up, but I don't think so. Alright, in-base gateways. We'll do a gas check. Aaron's been drinking beer in Europe. If only I was there with him. Alright, gases, so no 2-gate play. Alright, core and core, right? Yeah. And with both scouts in, no surprises. We are one short on gas. Okay, Memnon fixes it. Very good. Good eye. Second pylon. Okay, so already we have a little bit of a deviation. Darkmoon opting to go Goon first. Memnon got the Zealot. Yeah, and with Goon first, just going to transition smoothly into range as soon as possible. Memnon also getting range. And we will clear the scout on both sides. Looks like it. No, don't let that go. Okay, he's got it. No, don't let that go. Stop bug! Stop bug! Stop bug! Oh, that's unfortunate. Sorry, Memnon. Happens to the best of us. Okay, so again, Darkmoon playing robotics near the ramp. Pushing out with 2 goons. 2 goons won't really do anything, but we'll scout. Memnon doing the same thing. Alright, robotics near the ramp. And this isn't good. I'm gonna have to pull back real quick here. Alright. Losing shields, not really a big deal. Shields recharge pretty fast. Alright, got some micromanagement here from Darkmoon. Still managed to lose one of the Dragoons, and we're in like a triangle fight where we're just rotating. Second Goon comes down to help out Memnon. Darkmoon pulls back. 2 gateway production back here at home. Shuttle on the way. I don't see a support bay just yet, but I suspect it's coming now. Or an observatory, one or the other. A little bit more skirmishing here on the front. Waiting to see the tech. Yep, support bay first. Very aggressive. Second gateway. Here's our tech. Observatory first for Memnon. Alright, that could mean something. That gives us a window as Darkmoon to try and play Reavers to an advantage. But at the same time, like here, we're losing skirmishes. We have 3 goons versus 3 goons and a zealot, and we're taking some hull damage. Got another Dragoon reinforcing. It'd be nice if we could pick the zealot off. Nice, that's good. Now we're on more equal footing. Memnon gonna retreat up the ramp for a defensive advantage. This is impenetrable now, at least until Reavers come into play. Support bay for Memnon. About to be up. Support bay for Darkmoon has been done. Don't see a Reaver in production though. I'm not sure. I think it should be probably making. That's our advantage right here. We got support base so fast. No, even getting a observatory now. And a 3rd gateway. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I think if we get the support bay first before observatory, you probably want to try to take advantage of the speed, the quickness of that. Because what if he went DT? and like a later DT. I know he was scouting in his base the whole time, but I guess that's why he went observer now, because he just wasn't sure. And in an official CPL match, you know, you have to give props to a player that decides to, you know, play it out very smartly, defensively, smartly, strategically. You know, there are players that will go for the throat, that will go for a strategy and then execute it really well. And then there are players that will, you know, take stock of where the game's at, respect the scenario, the situation. Getting back into this game, Memnon getting their natural nexus up. Darkmoon getting theirs too, but it is a little bit behind. We have a Reaver fielded now for both players. 3 gateways for Darkmoon. Nothing else really in, but it is interesting how we got a shield battery here for Memnon. That's really going to reinforce the front of this natural. This is going to become almost unbreakable. And with the pylon out front like this as well, if Dragoons came in to attack, a lot of them in the back would auto-target the pylon, even if he pushed these goons up to defend. So a really strong position here, really strong defensive position here by Memnon that will work out for him because his nexus is faster. Both players with 2 Reavers. And it's looking like we're going to see a pretty peaceful game. We can see Darkmoon's got his observer here. It's in the base of Memnon. He knows what's going on. There's nothing to obstruct this observer from capturing everything going on. We can see he's chosen to stay back. And that's fine. Even grabbing maybe a faster third in response to having a later natural. I think that's alright. I think that's good. If you can make this work and get a faster third up and running, that will not only neutralize, but put you ahead. So we could play a nice defensive game here. You know, Starcraft Brood War is a game of defender's advantage. So if you attack into somebody, generally the defender has the advantage. Either by virtue of being set up beforehand, or, oh, look at this observer's going to get picked off. Alright, Darkmoon, your time of free information is over. There it goes. Memnon also doing a really good job of, look at this goon ring. Like, it's just a straight line of goons across the entire screen. Like, there's nothing getting past this, no shuttles getting past this, so very good use of the units. Nice and spread out to defend. We're going to send our own observer out now. We're in position to take this third, but we need the money. And unfortunately there's no observer here for Darkmoon, so there's really not a way to stop this observer. We're going to get a good look at the goon count. That's pretty scary. There's the observer. And Darkmoon's hunting it. Yeah, it's going to go down. Alright, so now the Protoss armies, 10.5 minutes into the game, are starting to mobilize out onto the map. Both players going to take their respective high grounds, but Darkmoon's going to push up into Memnon's high ground here. On this side of the map, shuttle speed is in effect for Darkmoon. Lots of Reavers dropped. Reavers dropped real close to each other. 2 Reavers pop the 1 for Memnon. That's really unfortunate. These Reavers for Darkmoon are getting really good Scarabs off. Excellent pickup here from Darkmoon. Managing to save both Reavers. Memnon just getting away with 1 that's very bruised and battered. Darkmoon continuing to push. We've gone up to 4 gateways. We're continuing to produce. Got a little patrol happening here for anti-shuttle. That's good. And yeah, now we have control of the front lines as Darkmoon. Will he push in, though? We're starting to harass. Alright, now that's a bit of a tough situation. That actually unpowers this shield battery. This is not usable right now. I hope Memnon notices. It's entirely possible that he will not, however, given how intense the game is right now. In the situation that Darkmoon is right outside your front. Right outside. Darkmoon putting that third Nexus down well ahead of time before Memnon. This will secure an advantage if we just play it out patiently. Here we go. Speed shuttle for Memnon coming into the natural of Darkmoon. Gonna see what damage we can get done. We've gone from 49 to 43 probes to 38 probes to 37. And this already injured shuttle doing its best to get these Reavers into the base. Gonna go ahead and drop both of them. We're going from 37 to 29. That was a big explosion. Huge Scarab connecting. Oh, 2 duds. And the Dancing Reavers get quite a bit of work done, completely eliminating the worker advantage that Darkmoon had over Memnon, and putting him in the lead. Those Reaver drops. Well, Memnon single file pushing up this ramp. I don't like that, but we do have numbers. And Darkmoon's army filing in. Going to consolidate with the front force here, and we're going to push down and fight. We'll see where this fight takes us. It's going to come down to the Reaver Micro, I believe. 2 Reavers down here for Darkmoon, tucked comfortably behind the Dragoons. Only 1 here for Memnon, but Memnon has a superior goon count. 3, 4 Reavers on the front line for Darkmoon. Is it enough? What a battle. 1 Reaver saved for Darkmoon. 2 still out here on the field for Memnon, but he does bring a shuttle up to capture both of them, and we're going to push forward. Both of these players back and forth in a tug of war, out for blood. Darkmoon's observer capturing the army movement of Memnon as he continues to close in across the high ground here. Here comes the counter push from Memnon, right outside the natural of Darkmoon. Going to drop both of the Reavers, get an instant goon pick-off, as well as a shuttle. This is the shuttle that has the Reaver in it. And we're going from 49 probes to 42 to 40 in 2 Scarab blasts to 39, 38. Memnon picking up both of his Reavers, getting some really good damage done here. Dropping them both off as these Dragoons from Darkmoon come in to try and help defend this natural, but it's just not enough. And Memnon's going to go ahead and pull the trigger and go out for blood. Going to go ahead and try to push up the ramp with 2 Reavers and the rest of his goons here, picking up his Reavers before they get hit from the enemy Scarab. Very nice. Continuing the siege. We got a swath of units ready here, but this Reaver's blocking the ramp. There we go. Now we do have to save this natural nexus here. Playing a little bit of elevator here. This nexus is starting to get a little bit low. I'm actually kind of worried about this. If he uses the Reavers and targets it, he might be able to snipe it. Ooh, he does drop both of the Reavers. One gets sniped very quickly. This one, building, gets picked off. Ooh, that's a good pick off right there. Darkmoon comfortable that he's completely secured the natural. Does move the probes back, but a huge number of goons reinforced for Memnon coming up here into the natural. Going to continue pushing. Almost sniped the shuttle with the Reaver. Reaver gets dropped, and it gets 2 Scarabs off. 3. Gets picked off. Memnon continuing to push here, and then just more reinforcements pouring in. And I think Memnon might have done it here, doing enough damage here to all these probes. We're losing probes. We're probably going to lose this natural nexus. Yeah, he's got some goons here focusing it. It goes down. That's a big capture of value right there. I don't like that we're trying to push up the ramp, though. Okay, we consolidate back down here. We got shuttle with 2 Reavers at the ready. We do have a photon cannon here. That's good for defense. We'll see what Memnon wants to do. He does want to drop instead. There's only 1 cannon there. There's another cannon warping in, but it can't defend from these Reavers. And yeah, an assault on 2 fronts by Memnon. Taking out the economy and even sieging this nexus. Darkmoon forced to go down the ramp to try and equalize the situation, but loses most of his army. Memnon, with the superior goon count, forces the game to close. GG. And that, my friends, will be a 2-0 closeout for Memnon. Well done. Good game. So that'll bring us to our 3rd series of the night. MKUltra versus Tmillz. Here we go. Series number 3. Here we are. The map is Deja Vu. In the top left corner is the blue Terran player. We have MKUltra. And the opponent is the red Zerg. In the bottom right corner, it's Tmillz. Both players recognizable names, CPL veterans for a couple of seasons now. If you're just tuning in, Coach-Pupil League is a great way to learn Starcraft Brood War. Come and join the league where we play in a competitive format, but with the intention of learning before competing. This is a very difficult game, maybe one of the most difficult competitive games out there. It is better to learn it with a community that is tried and true for many years. CPL. Where are you leaguing? Alright, MKUltra going to go ahead and build the first depot down here at the natural. We're going to start off with a nice wall. Tmillz Ovi out on the scout. Going to go ahead and go up and then left. Unfortunately, no first scout for the Ovi. And with an Overlord first, these should be drones. They are. We'll go up to 12, probably make a hatchery at the natural. A very standard macro play. Here we go, hatch first. Perfectly normal. Barracks here, to the right of the depot. That leaves us with a 3 hex gap. It's important to know that. There's a 1 hex gap here that Zerglings can fit through, as well as Marines. There's 2 hexes here that both Marines and Zerglings can fit through as well. SCV gonna scout top right, find it empty. A second SCV, out and then back in. I thought this was going to be a second scout. Okay, and then a depot on top here. This is what I was waiting for. This closes the hole here. Now we only have a 2 hex wide gap here. And that's why this particular formation was used. Alright, so Zerg has gone ahead and droned up a little bit more after spawning pool, which tells us that this will be a 3-hatch play. So 3-hatch, then gas. 3-hatch versus Terran will allow us to have additional larvae earlier, but our tech will be much slower. This is a safer way to play Zerg versus Terran if you are not confident in your Zerg unit control. If you are not good with Mutalisks and Zerglings and using them, you probably should not play 2-hatch, as that is what that build strongly relies on, is unit control. This is a far more economical build. Even getting a safety sunk here. Tmillz is in a really good position to set up a mid-game. We're not likely to be harassed by anything meaningful with this here. Gone 2 Zerglings to try and get rid of this SCV. We are a little bit late on a layer, however. And that is noteworthy in this matchup. Here's our layer. That's noteworthy because we need tech as Zerg to be able to really fight or fend off Terran. Some additional Zerglings here are going to go ahead and go across and scout. We'll find that MKUltra is also in a very comfortable position, having gone a nice 2 base 2 racks academy. This is good. This lets us economize at a reasonable pace and also put on pressure from 2 barracks plus academy. When STIB completes, we can move out with 2 additional medics supporting these Marines and put on a lot of good pressure from Zerg that will likely force at least an additional sunken colony. And here for Tmillz, you can see, as the layer approached the halfway point, it's ideal to put a Hydralisk Den down, if that is your intention. If you're going Lurker first, when the layer is halfway done, put a Hydra Den down. The Hydra Den will pop at the same time as the layer, and you can start Lurker tech immediately. And indeed, that's what we see Tmillz going for. We got a scan going down for MKUltra. Both scans available. I'm going to go ahead and move out here. This is a 9 Marine stim. 2 medics to support. The Firebats may come. They may stay home to defend a potential Zergling backstab. It looks like MKUltra is going to decide to bring the Firebats. In Zerg's response, Tmillz is going to go ahead and drop 2 more sunken colonies. That's really going to hurt the economy, but not as much as you might think, because he went 3-hatch, which affords him more larvae to replace those drones faster. But it stands that with 3 sunken colonies and 8 speedlings, this will not break Zerg. Trust me, it will not. Even with stim. This medic going a little far ahead, all by her lonesome. Another scan going down for Tmillz. Spots the Hydras in the Hydra Den as well as the front line of Sunks. Knows what's up. Yeah, I can't do anything here. Let's just go ahead and go home. Let's make sure he's not teching to Hive. Here's an Evo Chamber, but no Queen's Nest. Alright. This tells us that we'll probably get Missile or Carapace faster. But since there's no Queen's Nest, we don't need to push. He could come across the map and maybe stay up here on the high ground, and that would be advantageous. That would be a good call. I like that, holding the high ground. Going all the way in, this is not siegeable. Like even here, I think is a liability if the Lurkers just walk up. I think we should be right here. We'll see what the reinforcements look like. Another Firebat, 2 Marines coming down. Got our Nat Gas up. Here's our factory. 7 minutes, 20 seconds. Factory's almost done. That's good. That's about on time. 3 barracks. Good. +1 on the way. Good. I'm assuming we have stim and range both done by now. Good. Gotta get these guys working. That's like 5 workers, 4 workers. We're checking for a 3rd, which Zerg should have taken by now. So good on MKUltra being diligent here, looking for a third hatch. But yeah, this is what I was talking about. All these lurkers have to do is just walk up. And this is not enough. But now MKUltra is on the high ground. But he was forced to mobilize there, so we don't really have like an entrenched position. And we can't fight this. So Tmillz is going to go ahead and push out, be aggressive, take map control with these speedlings and lurkers. This Terran bio right here is not enough. Especially since the medics haven't healed these Marines. And unfortunately, they're all getting caught. And a bloodbath ensues. And Tmillz closes in on MKUltra's position. With a lot of lurkers, do we have the support that we need? A missile turret's just now coming up. It might not be in time. Tmillz backs up just a little bit. It looks like it will be just in time. But now we have the problem of a lurker contain. An entire field of lurkers outside our natural. We still have these 3 here going down looking for a third. They're going to find it. And force a cancel on this as well. 2 Marines is probably enough to DPS this down. I think the fire bat should stay back and help, otherwise these Zerglings are gonna clean it up. Yeah. Oh well. Close, but Tmillz doing a really good job of controlling the map. Our third base is a little bit slow, but it's alright. We wiped out Terran's initial bioforce, forced him to go into siege tanks. We'll see where the game goes from here. We are on Hive Tech for Tmillz, so getting away with this now. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. +1 Carapace just kicked in. Fireback gets cleaned up, no problem. I like that we're taking the gas here at the same time as well. That's good. We could start mining this gas as soon as this hatchery pops. Pretty much. Just get some drones down here, that's good. Alright, so we scan, we see Hive Tech, we see the Ultra Den, or the Ultra Cavern. But we're also contained pretty hard here. Fortunately for Terran, fortunately for MKUltra, they're not stacked. Which means that we can easily pick them apart or siege them. And here we go, yeah. Can't quite move forward yet. We need the tanks. Oh, that would have been a nice volley to get off right there. But unfortunately, it doesn't quite go off. Tmillz backs up and burrows. This is good. This is exactly what you want to do to try to stall Terran as much as possible. Third base up and running. Gas being mined now. And a Spire. I like this. We're getting a Spire. That's good. Scourge are always useful. A Mutaswitch can always be nice. We are slowly losing lurkers here on the front line. We do have to continuously back up. We have to be vigilant about that. Lots of siege tanks in the battlefield now. 4 siege tanks. That's a big deal. Lurkers don't really mean anything now. Nice volley by the tanks there, taking 2 of the 5 lurkers out. We are managing to slow Terran down here. But we're losing lurkers slowly along the way. Good last set of spines there, taking out that tank. But we still have 4 tanks. Full control group of Marines with +1/+1. We're stimming to get information on Tmillz. Oh, this base is pretty naked. I would attack there. And yeah, now there's nothing to stop this Terran force from coming across the map. It's macroed out pretty well. It's pretty sizable, and now that it's balled up, we need a way to address it. We need a way to fight it as Tmillz. We got a couple of lurkers back here. MKUltra's going for the scan. Checking the top here. It's empty. It's clear. We can go up and then down and siege this third base and take it out. And if MKUltra manages to take this third base out, that's really going to put Terran far ahead. We can see here for Zerg, +2 Carapace is about to kick in. That's going to be very, very, very pivotal in the upcoming fight. Some Ultras are on the field, but we're waiting for that +2 Carapace to kick in. We'll go from 4 to 5 armor on these Ultras. The Siege Tanks still make that a problem. Siege Tanks are very good at dealing with Ultras. Marines, not so much. Here we go. That armor kicks in. Tmillz goes for the engage. A lot of Ultralisks here on the flank. But the front lines are just getting decimated, and this flank is unsupported. A couple more Zerglings trickling in. But I don't know, guys. I think that's enough Ultras. And the armor is good. The armor is good, and the Zerglings get down, and we managed to clear out this Terran force. Tmillz securing and defending the third expansion here. Does lose a hatchery, but we managed to secure the mining base, which is really crucial. That's going to keep us in the game. Meanwhile, on the other end, MKUltra just making the CC where he can. He can lift it up. Yeah, and we can land here. With 2 additional command centers, we can go from 2 to 4 base. And if Zerg doesn't address that, we go way ahead. And look at this, MKUltra even doing a mech switch. Having gotten mines, even Vulture Speed on the way. Still making Marines as well, but definitely building those factories for the continuation of the switch. I like the switch. Anytime Zergling Ultra becomes really problematic, mines become amazing. You can combine mines with Irradiate and Siege Tanks, and it's much easier to address. This sort of 6:30, 7 o'clock base being taken here by Tmillz. That'll put us up on 4 base. +3 Carapace on the way. Just kind of started though. And yeah, we're starting to see spider mines just litter the map now, which is going to be a big problem for Zergling Ultra. Okay, Zerg knows about the 12 o'clock base. Going to send in a bunch of Zerg here. There are Vultures here to defend initially against the Zerglings, but the engage is pretty bad, and Zerg gets a great surround. We might actually force the lift here. There's not a response. The Ultras come charging in. That takes care of these guys and holds them in place, so yeah, we do force a lift. We're going to take MKUltra down a base. The other base, however, becomes a third base and does start mining, and these Ultras do come up to engage here. I'm not quite sure about this with the Siege Tanks here to defend. It looks like it's enough. With additional reinforcements, it's definitely enough. And gosh, you know, with the Carapace upgrade being so high, Terran has it matched, but Terran just doesn't seem to have quite enough units to really defend against this. I mean, we have mines everywhere, and they've done their job really well, but there's so many Ultras now that are just loose on the map. There are so many Ultras that are just going to be able to get away. Look at this, he's targeting down the Comsat Center. That's down. I wonder what that's about. Yeah, just guys, there are so many Ultras. There are so many Ultras. We're trying to take another base down here in the bot left. I don't really know if that'll be successful or not. Got a lot of floating buildings here, getting a lot of vision. Going for a full mech switch. These Zerglings are going to find all these SCVs. That's bad. We're going to lose a lot of workers here. Zerg is just chaotic all over the map. Great mine explosion there, taking down 2 Ultras. But this third base has been denied. Terran's on 2 base yet again. And that's bad because we're 17.5 minutes into this game. This is going to mine out very soon. This is going to mine out soon. The spider mines are doing great connecting with the Ultralisks, but I just don't know. Tmillz is just all over the map. Just all over the map, combing it with tons of Zerglings. Look, these Zerglings are even going to find this bottom base here. This Ultralisk found it already. We have complete control. Zerg has complete control here. This is good. I would like to see some melee upgrades, though. Zero's a little bit low. Yeah, we're starting to get mech upgrades. You see how long it takes 2 Zerglings to do that? Yeah, that's quite a while. We need some melee upgrades. Gonna bait this Ultra into the mines. Nice, 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 nice. But a whole herd of Ultralisks comes in, and yeah, with Zerglings following up, we're gonna have to cancel and lift. Gosh, just so much Zerg. So much armored Zerg. Taking this base here in the bottom left corner as well. Nice. Good mine connections right there. We're going to try and hold this bottom ground here the best that we can. We're getting some really great mine connections here, but Tmillz just has too much. It just has too much. Mines here connect, but goodness, there's just so many Ultras and Cracklings. Yeah, I'm just not sure. Greater Spire. Okay, so we have like a plan C. Denied. Denied. High ground. Basically denied. +3 Carapace. Kicked in. We're fully armored out as Zerg. But I don't know. As Terran, this is real hard. We're basically out of money. Like, if we can't establish another mining base, then we can't play. Tmillz getting a 5th gas started. This is great. We have so much gas mining as Zerg. And just more and more Ultralisks continuing to pour out. So many Ultras. And yeah, the siege tank count is good. The upgrades are starting to get good, but I just don't know. Like, straight up siege tanks, not good versus Cracklings. Oh no, I don't think we want to do that. I mean, we'll get some damage splashed onto the Ultras, but we're just going to lose all the tanks, right? Yeah, so that's good, but then, like, the rest of Zerg comes up and you have no tanks left. Yeah, MKUltra just has to get out of this game. There's really no reasonable way to continue playing this. So a good Terran versus Zerg matchup there. Alright, that'll put a point on the board for Tmillz. Pushes us into game number 2 on Eclipse. Here we go, spawning in the upper right corner of Eclipse is the blue Terran player. It's MKUltra coming back. I'm going to try to take game number 2 to turn it into a series. In the bottom left corner is the red Zerg spawning in. It's Tmillz going to try to close this series out with a 2-0. I've almost finished my bourbon. And I'm definitely not sober anymore. Ugh. Oof. Alright. Alright, so supply depot first. So we're not going to see an early racks. We are going to try to wall though. And on Eclipse, this is a good wall. We're going to do depot here, and then another depot here, and the barracks here. And that's good. You always want depots to be on top of the barracks. That's where units will stop. If the depot's below, pretty much everything will go through. Everything's small. $12 hatch open for Zerg here. Standard, economical, predictable. Ah, yes, fuzzy branch. My favorite, one of my favorite sayings. If the depot's below, the units will flow. And if the units are on, if the depot's on top, the units will stop. And if you put a depot to the right, it's zealot tight. Thank you, Niblime, for all the rhymes. Yep, that's how it is. Niblime's the man. We don't see enough of him around here. Alright, Zerg gets in scouts. It's standard. Racks expand. 18 CC. Okay, 12, 11, 10 here for Zerg, so 2 hatch play for Tmillz. Switching it up a little bit from game 1. .302 layer, very nice. I love that. For anyone who might not understand, if you make your layer specifically at that time, you will spawn out an additional larva. Alright, second barracks here, gas. The tech to follow up for Terran here will be Academy, most likely. And yeah, sending the Marines out, this is a little bit risky. Because we don't know how many Zerglings are going to be out there. And it's good, I like that we're turning around here. 2 Marines would very, very easily lose to 6 Zerglings. Alright, our Spire is almost done here. I'm guessing we're going to see a Spire, as well as a Natural Extractor. Seems to be what it's looking like. Yeah, here's our Spire. And yeah, here's our Academy from Terran. Here's our gas. Yeah, so this will be a Mutalisk opening for Zerg. On 2 hatch, so it'll be pretty quick. A little bit after 5:45. And then Terran might opt to make some medics right now, and then push out with those for a 5-minute stim timing. There are the medics, there's stim. We're a little late. But it's okay, the concept is correct. And then an engineering bay for +1 missile and missile turrets as well. Third base going down for Tmillz. This is about the time that you want it to go down, the 5-minute mark, if you're opening up 2 hatch. That's good. We do see the Overlords in production here. We are short larva just a little bit, so we'll be able to make at most 4 Mutalisks. Waiting on those Overlords. There they are. And yeah, we got a nice response here. This is what I was talking about last game, with keeping the fire bats behind to deal with Zergling counterattacks. Yeah, super nice. So now we have all the Zerglings dead. We're not across the map, however, but it doesn't really matter because we forced the Sunkens anyway, and that's what we want. We want Zerg to make those Sunkens. In fact, we can see Zerg's not even making the mutas. We're just going straight into +1 Carapace, droning up a little bit. Okay, here's a couple mutas getting started now. They will be completely ineffective at any early game harass. That window will be entirely closed. There are missile turrets up now and ready to defend. There are 3 barracks in production. Stim is done, range is on the way. By the time range is done, the mutas will be here. It won't be very effective. So these mutas are inherently defensive at this point. And we can see we're not getting an upgrade at the Spire here, so that kind of tells me that Tmillz is not very heavily invested in mutas. It's just as more of a threat. The threat of mutas is almost as good as mutas themselves. So we may make up to however many we need. He might go to 7 for one-shotting SCVs. He might go to 11 to make a full combat group. We'll see. We've gone up to 7. There are 2 more in production, so I think we're going to make a full combat group to try and defend. And in response, MKUltra is going to power up. We're getting a 4th barracks here. We're getting a factory really, really nicely on time. So our tech is really on time. +1 weapons for Terran on the way. Everything looks pretty good. We need to be in production, though. We need to be macroing. Sending out that fire bat to check for hidden bases, especially the top left that has 2 gases. Very good. And here we see, we're going to see 9 Mutalisks moving out. We'll see what the plan is or what we can get done with them. We have to be very careful about engaging the Marines. We're taking little bits of pepper shots here and there, and that does add up. 2 Mutalisks are already pretty significantly injured. Above this cliff is a great place to rest. And I like this play. We're going to try to equalize the economy just a little bit by picking off some SCVs. We get 2 of them, but we lose an Overlord for it, and unfortunately I just don't think that's worth it. Not to mention the fact that 4 of our Mutalisks are quite bruised up. Terran may take that as a sign to push out on the map and make something happen. We'll see though. We have double starport, double control towers on the way, a 5th barracks up, science facility well on the way. MKUltra really powering up here. This is going to be very scary in a minute or 2. And yeah, Tmillz now has confirmation that Terran is moving out across the map, coming potentially to kill him. Sends the mutas home. I agree with this move, it's very necessary. Lots of sunken colonies at the 3rd. This is unbreakable without some additional siege power. And additional colonies here at the natural as well. These 2 are not ready yet, it's really just 3 sunks. And MKUltra recognizes that these were not built on time, goes ahead and stims, is going to go for the push. I don't think this is enough. With the mutas here, I think Tmillz will be able to defend this no problem. Yeah, and we've got a good defense by Tmillz. Not only that, but Hive is already complete. Not even on the way, but complete. Next layer of Carapace started. Ultra Cavern on the way again. We're starting to see similarities to game number 1. And with this defensive posture, this is going to be so tough for Terran to break. We are macroing quite well. We've got science vessels on the map now. Irradiate is about halfway done, a little bit more, so those Mutalisks are going to become invalid very soon. Thanks, DNMD, for following. Always happy to have new people pop in on the channel and checking out some Coach-Pupil League for Starcraft Brood War. A game that is more than a quarter of a century old and still competitively played as of this day. Terran gonna go ahead and scan the third. We found it, but that's a lot of sunks. We cannot approach this with Science Vessel Marine Medic. That is not feasible. Unless we spend 100 energy on both and maybe do a defensive matrix push. Yeah, and seeing that Zerg is confirmed on Hive and Ultra Tech, it's a bit of a scary moment here. MKUltra might feel a bit of pressure here to make something happen, to try and kill Zerg before those Ultras become a real threat. It's worth noting for Terran Marines and the infantry, it's still 1-0 upgrades. Zerg has nothing in the air. And this is what I was talking about. See, he's going to go ahead and make the play. We're going to defensive matrix, probably 1, maybe 2 Marines, send those first, so that the sunken colonies target those, and then we push in with the rest of the Marines. But I think the rest of the Marines were a little too slow. We needed to push all together at the same time. I love the idea, but it just wasn't cohesively executed. Yeah, we have to back off from this. We have to back off from this. It was a good idea, but execution is a whole nother thing. And here we can see Tmillz sitting comfortably on 40 drones versus 45 SCVs. This is heavily Zerg favored at this point in the matchup. With Terran still on 2 bases, compared to Zerg's 3 base that's been mining gas for quite a while, Zerg is firmly in the lead here. We need to make something happen as Terran here. We've got quite a military established here, and there aren't really lurkers to help fight it, but Ultras are on the way. Mutas are still active on the map. We have 6 Ultralisks fielded already. 7. The additional armor has been researched. +2 Carapace is about to finish in less than a minute. Mutalisk's doing a really good job of coming through the map, checking out all the bases. MKUltra looking for additional bases, not finding them. Zerg is on less bases than you would think. Insomnia in the chat. I'm getting old, why not try learn this hardest game on planet? Yeah, it do be like that. We're a different breed. We are. We're tough. Fourth base started for Zerg here. No contests. Muta's still doing a really good job being active on the map. I love this. I love seeing Mutas constantly active. This is how you get the most value from them. But MKUltra found them, and he's probably going to get an irradiator or 2 off. We'll see. Well, we do catch a couple of Mutas. There's only 4 left. That's not really representative of any kind of threat. But Zerg's moving out with the big beefy space cows. Here we go. We're going to directly engage into the M&M forces without any additional Terran support. I love this for Zerg. I love it. I love it. Zerg should just plow right through this. Yeah, no problem. Zerg's going to eat right through this. Scourge for the science vessels. Oh, so many good connections. I mean, there's a lot of Marines, but all Zerg has to do is consolidate, and oh man, we gotta send these guys in. This honestly isn't too bad of an engage for Terran, to be honest. The +2 weapons here is what's making the difference. This is the game changer right here. This is the only reason why Terran is winning this fight. Everyone understand this right now. This +2 weapons right here is the only reason Terran won. And we still might lose. We still might lose because Zerg has been very fast on their armor. Tmillz has done a very good job of getting Carapace very quickly and then staying on top of it. And versus Terran, versus SK Terran, it becomes an upgrade battle. If you're going Ultra Ling or Defiler Ultra Ling versus SK Terran, it is an upgrade fight. You are racing upgrades. And as we can see, him having that +2 upgrades versus the +2 Carapace is what it takes. If one of them is ahead of the other, if Zerg is ahead in Carapace or Terran is ahead in missile weapons, the fight completely changes. It dramatically changes. This is how you play SK Terran versus Lurker Ling Ultra Defiler type play. 𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄 in the chat for the first time ever. Needs ultra speed. You are correct, sir. 16 minutes into the game is way too late to be seeing no ultra speed. They engage so much better when they have speed. And here we can see MKUltra doing a really good job macroing a nice, sizable SK Terran army. +2 armor and +3 weapons is about to finish for Terran, and when that does, it's going to be very significant. That is a very significant moment in this game. And they're going to finish before +3 Carapace finishes. Tmillz slacking off just a little bit on the Carapace, but we are out, and this is a terrible engage for Terran. This is terrible for Terran. This is horrible. We are so spread wide, and the Zerg just gets a full surround on every angle. Chews up all of this SK Terran, no problem. And it's an absolute bloodbath. That was a huge mistake on Terran's part. A mistake so big it actually cost him the game. And that just goes to show you folks, SK Terran versus Zerg, late game, it's still, the entire matchup is played on a knife's edge. You make 1 or 2 mistakes, it can all be over. All right. Wow. All right, so Tmillz taking a 2-0. No series tonight, boys. No series tonight yet. We will be moving into our 4th matchup of the night. It's going to be 𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄 as the Zerg versus Protoss Iron V666. So, our very first Protoss versus Zerg of the night. 4th series, we begin. Of course, map number 1, Deja Vu. As you know, spawning in the top left corner is the red Protoss player. It's Iron V666. And in the top right corner is the blue Zerg, 𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄. I will remind you all once again after the stream is over, or after this match in particular is over, but we will be taking a short break, short little intermission after this game. Good chance to get up, stretch, take a bathroom break, drink, snacks, whatever you want. It'll be 3 minutes. But we're going to watch game number 1 between these 2 players in this brand new series, PvZ. About to finish off my bourbon. And during the break, I'll get a refresher. Alright, where are we at? Overlord, pool, overpool. Great. Yeah. Everyone knows overpool. Super middle of the ground versus Protoss. No advantages, no disadvantages. You can fend off Gateway first, Zealots coming at you. You can get natural expansion at a reasonable time at 11 supply. Iron, gonna go ahead and go for the Forge fast expand. This will let us get cannons up secured earlier, help us defend. Typically, tech is a lot faster when you open Forge first. Alright, so I do like this because it's an official CPL match that Iron is deciding to be very respectful and place the cannon down before the Nexus. We do have good intel on Zerg since we've managed to get the scout in. We basically see what's happening, but we really don't know how many Zerglings are actually going to be made. So just to play it safe, we're getting the cannon first. So Iron is completely safe at this point. We have enough money. We're going to get the Nexus now. That's good. And this is a drone that's going to go out and take a third base. I would really like it if Iron could follow it and get confirmation of where the third base is planted. Because that will help you strategically plan your attacks for the future. And yeah, here we do see we have confirmation of the third here. So that's good. Iron now knows where the third base is. And we're going to go back in. Check things out. I don't mean to blind everybody. And we see we don't have any tech just yet. I would expect to see either a Hydralisk Den or a lair once we get enough gas to do either one. And it seems that we're going to go Hydralisk Den, so this is going to be a 3-base Hydra play, maybe even a 973 attack on Protoss. And Iron even has the benefit of having scouted it with his probe. So we will see what the response will be. You just need to put up cannons at the right time. Now typically, as far as I know, 973, you place the Hydralisk Den down at about 3.5 minutes, which it looks like that lines up about right. And then at about 4.5 minutes, you start producing the Hydras. And then at 5.5 minutes, you're already knocking on Protoss's front door. So we'll see how the game develops, but I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be what we're going to see. As a matter of fact, we can see the Hydralisk speed upgrade being upgraded. Range will follow immediately after. This is the correct way to play 973. You want to get the Hydralisk upgrades as soon as possible, with speed being first. Unless you are doing the specific build where you are trying to bust with range first, with speedlings. That's different. That's not 973. You get Hydra speed first with 973. Okay? And that's because you'll continue to additionally reinforce with Hydras, and you want them to be able to get across the map as soon as possible to help with the fight. That's why we get speed first. And also to be able to micro around any other nuisance units like Zealots. Because with speed, we can definitely micro Hydras around. And so yeah, the scout comes back in for Iron, gets a double confirmation, even a triple confirmation I would say, with these two Hydras here revealed. At about the 5:30 mark, we definitely see that Hydras are a problem. We're going to put down additional cannons. This is good. I think the minimum number of cannons you want versus a Hydra bus is, if I'm not mistaken, 6. And you can even go up to 8 if it's a fully committed attack from Zerg. If you can confirm that he's committed to just making Hydras and not droning up afterwards, you go up to like 8 or 9 cannons. And we see that 3 Zealots here managed to get out. Now this is interesting because those Zealots are not here to defend at home, but the cannons here that are on the way, there's 3 that are ready and the 4th one on the way. Zerg isn't really here in a position to put on pressure. We lost a lot of units. You can see the blood splats everywhere, the couple Zerglings, couple Hydralisks lost. And here these 3 Zealots are really being a thorn in AZK's side, but the real significant part of this play right here is whether or not Iron loses these Zealots. If Iron loses these Zealots here, it's actually kind of a problem. Because then we don't have any offensive force from Protoss whatsoever to stop Zerg from just droning freely. And the difficulty is, now that Zerg Hydra speed is done, these Hydras can chase these Zealots down no problem. And also evade them no problem. That's why you go speed first with Zerg. That's why if you're going Hydras early on, you go speed first. Unless you were specifically doing the range first bust, which has to be planned out. And here we can see these 3 Zealots getting back into this third base, getting a drone kill. Doing some nice denial, getting a second drone kill, that's good. We do lose one of the zealots, two of the zealots. I don't really know if it's been worth it. We didn't kill a lot of drones, but we did lose 3 zealots, and already the gateway's gone. The spinning forge, upgrading +1, this is going to be gone. If we could just position the Hydralisks correctly and get them firing again. There we go. Yeah, this should not finish. So Protoss will be behind on a +1 weapons upgrade, which would be really crucial in easily taking out Zerglings with the potential of +1 speed lots. But if those speed lots don't have +1, they'll 3-hit Zerglings instead of 2-hit, which dramatically changes the way they trade. And yeah, so here we have 5 cannons. Yeah, I guess that's okay, because 𝐓𝐇𝐄 hasn't really committed a whole lot. In fact, we've made a couple more Hydras just now and sent them across, but really primarily we're droning right now, right? 5 drones that were in production, 2 hatch, 3 on the way. We're getting a Spire now. I like this. I really like the fact that we're getting a Spire after the Hydra Den now. You really want to get both of those techs at some point. You just kind of pick one to start off with. And with Spire, we can do basically whatever we want. We can make 5 mutas and go in for like a harass and force them to think about anti-air. We can go completely Scourge and completely dominate the air. Corsairs are not a threat whatsoever, and we can pick off observers and let our lurkers roam free. There's a lot of options. Alright, so 𝐓𝐇𝐄 sends 1 Hydra forward. He wants to get a complete count on what's going on up here. So all the cannons fire. He gets a complete count on the cannons. There's 5. Sees that there's probably a couple High Templars here. It's a little precarious. We need to make a decision here. We have a 3rd base. It's starting to mine. That's good. We've got Lurker Tech on the way. Lurker Aspect on the way. Overlord Speed on the way. That's great. More Hydras in production. Spire's about to finish. You know, both players are actually in a very strong position. Protoss, Iron V666, 50 probes right now. A little past 9 minutes. That's good. That's a good position to be in. Zerg, 33 drones. That's actually a bit short. If we have 5 hatcheries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we do. We have 5 hatcheries. You want 35 drones to be able to sustain a full Hydralisk production out of 5 hatcheries. But we have 33, so we're short a little bit. 32 now. And, you know, all that's just all statistical. It's very easy to, like, theory craft like this outside of the game. But when you actually go in and play the game, it is very difficult to keep an accurate count of how many drones you've made, how many drones you've lost, and where you're at currently. You kind of just need to get a feel for it. You need to practice and box clicking your drones and kind of dividing them out and counting them and getting a feel for where you're at. But you really want to be on minimum 35 drones for 5 hatches, and then 45 drones a couple minutes after, and then 55 drones a couple minutes after. Yeah, I missed a little bit of it here, but you can basically see what happened. Iron just stormed the crap out of 𝐓𝐇𝐄, completely busted the contain that was out here. It was a very light contain, but we're just spending storms. Oh, I missed. That sucks. And we're spending storms to bust a lot of Zerg's frontline units, which is a big deal because now Zerg needs additional units to defend any potential Protoss push that's coming. And we can see just 2 Hydras, 2 mutas in production, 2 lurkers in production. I don't really know if that's enough. You have a 6th hatch here. That's good. This is a little bit late, though. We definitely want to get a 4th base started as well pretty soon, as well as some Evo chambers to get some upgrades going. It's noteworthy that Protoss has 2 forges going with +1/+1 as well. Actually, I think it's +2/+2. It is. Yeah, it's +2/+2, so Protoss has a huge upgrade advantage right now, given that Zerg has no upgrade buildings whatsoever, and Protoss is already sitting on an attack and an armor. Hey, gonna sleep, GG's, and have a good cast. Thanks, Dada. Have a good night. I know it's getting late over there, but I'm in North America where it's still 6:15 p.m., so it's fairly early in the night here, but I know it's late over there, so yeah, have a good night. I'll finish out this cast with glory, I promise. Alright, so Iron V666 is going to push out with a nice substantial army, mostly comprised of goons with range, which is really strong versus Hydra Lurker. There are Zerglings mixed into Zerg's army, which is really good. Speed just kicked in for those Zerglings, which is great. But unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough versus this sizable army. We don't have any storms available anymore, whereas we just used them, but Yeah, Protoss's army is just so big at this point, and we don't really have an army or anything to address Protoss coming in here and just flattening us. This is a really significant, beefy force that needs to be respected. 𝐓𝐇𝐄 recognizes that and GG's out. And I think that was a really good game played from both players. But, you know, Zerg just kind of not quite getting what they need to defend in time. And, yeah, we'll switch over, put a point on the board. For iron. Very good. And we are going to take a short 3-minute break, like I said, and I'll be right back. In no more than 3 minutes. Go! Oh, yeah. All right. I don't even think that was 3 minutes. I didn't finish. I didn't make a new bourbon, though. I'm already pretty tipsy, so. All right, let's get into game number 2 between 𝐓𝐇𝐄 and Iron. Good so far. All right, game scene. Fire up the game. Game 2 played on Eclipse. Here we go. Spawning on the top right corner is the red Protoss player. It's Iron v666. And in the lower left corner is the blue Zerg player. It's 𝐓𝐇𝐄 3000. You are watching Tier 2 of Season 11 Coach-Pupil League between Clique and FlashCoin Wales. Time is just a concept. Time is a flat circle. Time doesn't exist. Yeah, wrap your head around that. Time is now. That's right, refrigerator. Time is right now. And that's all it ever is. Alright. Now, this is interesting. This is a 9 pool. This is not an overpool. This is a 9 pool. We'll grab the gas, and if he cancels this, it's a 9 pool expand. So, that was canceled. So when this pops, we'll have an overlord ready. This guy will pop. We'll have 3 larvae. We'll make 3 sets of lings, so 6 zerglings, and then we'll take an immediate natural expansion. And it's a good, aggressive way to open up with a nice plan B to economize behind it. The downside is, if it fails and the 9 pool fails to do damage, you're further behind than what you would be if you had opened overpool or even 11 hatch. Once again, Iron going ahead for the cannon before the Nexus, playing very safe and respectful. And like I said, yeah, you get the expansion very fast with the 9 pool expand. And the 6 zerglings come out, apply a lot of pressure. We need a second cannon here for Iron. If we see him put down a Nexus instead of a second cannon, this game may end. This game may be over. That might have been a crucial mistake. We'll see. It all depends on the execution, of course. Half of this game is execution. You can't just rely on theory. You actually have to micro and play the game. So we'll see here how this happens. The Zerglings do get in, and they get a great surround on this cannon. And we'll take down the cannon, and there's nothing to prevent these 2 Zerglings from doing damage now. And if any Zerglings reinforce, this could be a huge headache. In fact, Iron might be forced to pull a couple of probes and cut into his economy to deal with these probes. Getting a couple probe kills as well. Microing these Zerglings around. Doing a good job being a nuisance. Another probe kill, that's great. And the longer we keep these 2 Zerglings alive, 1 goes down. Alright, 1 Zergling is significantly less threatening than 2. This was still a very good play, I think. And 13 to 9... with additional Zerglings on the way, there's no cannons, right? The Zealot is not ready. Okay, the Zergling here gets cleaned up. That's a big deal. There's 2 more Zerglings. If they go right up the ramp... No, go up the ramp. You want probe picks. You want probe kills. You want probes. You want probes. No, go get the probes. More Zerglings on the way. You gotta micro these around. Don't lose these Zerglings. Ah, that's painful. But with 5 Zerglings, if we can get a nice surround on the Zealot here, but Iron pulls the probes right at the ramp at the perfect time and creates a really good surface area to fight, but the Zerglings are still just too numerous. More probes are falling. The Zealot's down. The second Zealot is ready and on the way. It's going to fight. It can take on 3 Zerglings, especially if 1 is injured, and with the help of an additional probe. More Zerglings are trickling in slowly, though. 𝐓𝐇𝐄 recognizing the advantage and continually pouring larvae into Zerglings to keep on the aggression, to keep on this advantage, and see if we can maybe close this game out. A photon cannon right in the front here. This is an interesting spot for it. The Zealot does get surrounded. 𝐓𝐇𝐄 recognizes that's a cannon, does get the cancel on it. The only threat left here to defend is this one lonely Zealot. Another is in production, but you know, Zealots take quite a bit to make. Another probe kill. Oh, kill that probe. Another probe kill. 12 to 8 workers. That's not looking good for Protoss. He needs to continuously make nothing but Zealots out of this to help defend. And even forced to make a photon cannon here to be safe in the main as well. This puts Iron very far behind, tech-wise and economy-wise. But don't forget, we're still on just 7 drones back at home. Only 4 of them actually mining minerals. 𝐓𝐇𝐄, for all intents and purposes here, is mostly all in. Even getting the additional Hydralisk Den to try and transition out, but we don't have the money to do anything with this. We don't have the money. Everything is going to come down to all of these Zerglings here that we poured all of our money into. We've spent all of our larva on these Zerglings here. And you know what? There's a lot. There's a lot of Lings here. It may be enough. That Zealot was injured, so it goes down fast. Speed kicks in for the Zerglings. That makes this even more precarious for Protoss. A good surround on both of these Zealots, and both of them just running and taking damage. Both of them fall. There's just not enough. Zerg is going to take this game. 𝐓𝐇𝐄 has done it. Once this cannon goes down, that is it. That will be game. Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing. And 𝐓𝐇𝐄 with a really good Zergling speed all in to close out the second game. GG. Damn fine game. Alright, folks, you know what that means. We get our first series for the night that goes to Game 3. Which also means that we'll be seeing for the first time tonight map number 3 in Week 3's map pool, which is none other than Gladiator. No, Dominator. Gladiator is the 4-pool, the 4-player map. Dominator's the 3-player. Got it. Okay, good. We're back in the game. Spawning at the 3 o'clock position on the right side of the map is the blue Zerg. It's going to be 𝐓𝐇𝐄 3000 trying to take the series 2-1. And in the lower bottom corner at the 6 o'clock position, maybe even 7, I don't know, is the red Protoss player. It's Iron V666 trying to close the series out 2-1 as well. It will all come down to this, the first series that we have tonight. Refrigerator in the chat, 23-minute PVZ, I hope. Yeah, long PVZs are very interesting. I agree. Okay, Pylon Scout. Zerg Overlord, unfortunately going to pick the wrong direction. Another Overlord in production. We've already passed the 9-pool timing. Spawning pool, over pool opening. And Iron going to get fast confirmation that his opponent is not 11 o'clock. We'll go Forge first. As has been the past 2 games, we'll see if we go Cannon first, or maybe perhaps Nexus first. Probe's gonna come down. Yeah, we see that. Yeah, we see that. Spawning pool done. We know what this is. This looks like overpool, no problem. Drone gonna go up for a 3rd. And yeah, we're gonna see Nexus first this time before Cannon for Iron. So very good, very reasonable reaction to what has been scouted. We didn't see any Zerglings, and now we only see 2. That's not threatening. Now we see 4. Alright, that's a threat. But we have a cannon on the way, so we're good. And we'll build the gateway up here to seal off the rest of the wall. We're good. Third base chosen, the mineral only, that's closest. Joining up, getting gas, everything looking very normal, everything looking very standard. This is good. A second cannon to be absolutely safe versus 6 or more Zerglings that might try to run by. This is good. Getting gas. And then after gas, we'll probably get a Cybernetics core to continue teching up at a reasonable pace. Nexus completes. Iron does a nice probe transfer just in time. That's always beautiful to watch. Natural for 𝐓𝐇𝐄, starting to get mining. We're producing lots of drones. And again, we're going for early Hydralisk play. So 𝐓𝐇𝐄 demonstrating an affinity for aggression versus Protoss. And again, getting that Hydralisk speed upgrade as soon as the Hydralisk den pops. That's excellent. That's what you want to do if you do this. If you go for the early Hydra den, you want to get those upgrades as soon as possible. That's your top priority. A 4 Zergling spread here. This is great. We're not letting any probes out, but it is weak against Zealots. Iron kind of recognizes that. Even baits one of the Zerglings in. If not caught quickly, the cannons clear it, no problem. And we can rinse and repeat this pattern if they're not on hold position. And just get free value. Second assimilator on the way. This is a bit early for Protoss. What this tells me is that we're probably going to go real tech heavy. Maybe Corsair, constant Corsair production. We do see the Stargate that's on the way. And the Citadel that follows up very closely behind the Stargate on time. Very good. So I'm guessing that we're going to see constant Corsair production with the quickness of this natural gas here. Otherwise, you really wouldn't get this. Typically, if you don't get constant Corsair production, your aim is to get as many +1 speed lots active and mobile on the map as soon as possible. So you wouldn't get the natural gas for doing that. You would just get lots more minerals and then put down more gateways instead and get the +1 speed upgrade, which he's going to do regardless. And yeah, there was a 3 Zealot move out here. I don't think he got any drones. I did miss it though, but 2 of them were picked off pretty quick. And a 3 Zealot move out is really, really good if your Zerg opponent is trying to macro economize. If they're going 3 base, 3 hatch Hydra, it's not good. You're going to lose your Zealots. So we do want to be a little bit careful, and losing those initial 3 Zealots is a really big deal, especially when he's going for a Hydra bust, because then we have less units to defend with. We'll be relying more heavily on the photon cannons to actually do their job to defend us. Mr. Cat in the chat. You say 3 Zealots. Zerg hears free Zealots. Yeah, sometimes it'd be like that. So if you don't know Zerg's making Hydras, yeah, you could just be donating. So we're in a tough position again. Zerg's making a lot of Hydras, 6 in production, and that's on top of the already 10, 12 that are here. This is a full committed all-in push. So the more cannons here, the merrier. We will lose out on the upgrade from the Forge here, which does suck a little bit, but we're focused entirely on staying alive right now. And with no units on the front here, ooh, we're even targeting down this gateway so that the Zerglings can get in and get surface area. Interesting approach, but it looks like it's going to work. There's might be just enough Zerg here to make this happen. Probes have to get pulled. They absolutely have to get pulled. Iron has to pull these to win this fight and stay alive. But even then, it might not be enough. Yeah, these cannons are not up in time. There wasn't enough cannons. There were only 5 that were here. And like I said, you want 6 minimum. 6 to 8. And we're losing here because we're not respecting a Hydralisk all in. We need to see if Zerg's making units or not. And see what Zerg's spending their larva on. If we can get confirmation on that, we can react appropriately. But as we can see, 𝐓𝐇𝐄 with the full Hydralisk bust here, showing the full fury and power of the Swarm when unscouted, and taking the series 2-1 over Protoss. There it is. Hey, Iron pops off in the chat. Cringe map, standard walling, can't fit cannons easily. Yeah, Dominator kind of sucks insofar as space is concerned. In your main base and in your nat, you're space deprived. You're so space deprived. It's such a small map. It is. It's tough. I feel you on that one. But still, good series nonetheless. That's going to bring us into our 5th series for the night. Jasta 19 versus Character, representing something all in. I'm not really sure what that is. Let's see. Oh, you know what? You know what? Yeah, I don't have a folder for them. So the download didn't include a folder for these two, so they must not have played. Oh yeah, I've got 5 sets here. Alright. Sorry guys, that's going to be a dud. 0-0 for our 5th series. I don't actually have anything to cast there. And that's going to push us into our 6th series by default, unfortunately, which is going to be Nate as Terran versus Insidejob 911 USA as Zerg. Refrigerator in chat, damn, no PvP shenanigans. Sorry, buddy. I don't know if you caught the first 2, but our first 2 series were both PvPs. So if you came late, you missed it. Alright. The map resets back to Deja Vu for game number 1 in our brand new series between Nate and Insidejob 911. Spawning in the top left corner as the blue Terran player, it is Nate. And then bottom right, cross spawn from our Terran player is going to be Insidejob 911 USA, a veteran CPL player whose name I recognize. And if I believe I'm correct, was a Terran player in previous seasons. So I like that. Race switching gives you a whole new perspective on the game. Widens your experience. It's something I like to do every once in a while. Yeah, so we got another Terran versus Zerg on our hands, which in a lot of opinions is one of the best matchups in the game, if not the best matchup in the game, and I happen to agree with that. Simply because the matchup is played constantly on a knife's edge, where any mistakes could potentially cost you the entire game. Alright folks, pay close attention here, because we don't see a hatchery. There's no hatchery expansion for Insidejob 911. This is a 9-pool speed. We're going for it. This is cheese right off the bat to start off our 6th series. And we know that it's speed because the extractor finishes production there, and we'll begin harvesting gas from it, leaving 6 drones on minerals and 3 on gas. Unfortunately for Insidejob 911, his opponent is cross-spawn, which is really less than ideal. It takes Zerg units, any units really, longer to go across the map than vertical or horizontal to your opponent. So we will lose a little bit of time there, which will give Nate a little bit more time to prepare should he figure out what the build is. Now we have our first SCV scout here. It's going to go up to the top right. It's going to be a blank scout. At the same time, Insidejob 911 scouting the bot left. Going to find nothing there as well. The Zerglings are out on the map. Zerg knows it's top of the map. It's either top left or top right. And with this Overlord here scouting absolutely nothing, we can make a very safe assumption that our opponent is across the map and these Zerglings are already on the way. Zergling speed coming up to about 60%, 65% complete. Nate's SCV not gonna get here in time, unfortunately. These Zerglings are gonna get up this ramp uncontested. A factory is on the way here. If this factory can complete, a vulture would change this game, but Nate needs to defend these initial Zerglings. We get the initial SCV that was making the factory, slowing the factory down, which is pivotal, but speed kicks in for the Zerglings. That's going to make this much, much more difficult to defend. The Zergling does manage to get on top of the Marine, but it doesn't kill it. The SCVs are surrounding the Zerglings, preventing them from getting on top of the Marine, which is awesome. And now this Marine is getting so much free DPS from staying alive. More in production. Factory continuing to be built. 4 Zerglings here. Speedlings, see if we can maybe pick off this one SCV here. That'd be great. Can't quite reach it. And the factory finishes right in the nick of time and a Vulture gets started. This is exactly what Nate needs to do and where he needs to be. He's even getting a bunker right up here on the side of the refinery. If this completes, this would be really good, but unfortunately just before it completes, the SCV is picked off from 3 Speedlings. 4 more Speedlings reinforced across the map. Layer is halfway done for Insidejob 9/11. We got 2 more Zerglings here back at home. And we're doing our best. We get a good surround on the Vulture here, but there's just not enough Zerg here. And Nate micros this Vulture safely. And unfortunately gets picked off. Probably looked away at the wrong moment and loses it to additional Speedlings that come in. Does manage to get the Marines into the bunker. That's going to help defend. Another Vulture is in production, but it just started. There's 3 more Marines here at the bottom here. They should defend this against 3 Zerglings, no problem. And we're looking at 11 drones to 17 SCVs. Layer is done. We've got an emergency creep colony here. I don't really know about this. I think this might be a bad call given that we've got Zerglings here to prevent Terran from moving out. And we definitely know that there wasn't a Vulture that got out. Navain in the chat, great base layout from Terran. I also concur, yes. This is a tight wall right here with only one little gap that Zerglings can get through. And then up here, the bunker that completely defends. Zerglings can't really get anywhere in here. Not comfortably, anyway. So yeah, really good base layout from Nate. Making things nice and compact. We've got enough Vultures here and enough Marines to be able to defend anything. But the real threat is going to be the Spire follow-up, which, in my opinion, should have been just a little bit quicker, but unfortunately wasn't. But it's still on the way, which is what counts. And what really matters is whether or not we're taking nat gas sooner rather than later, because that will determine how many potential Mutalisks we can make in the future. But as you can see, we don't exactly need it right now because we've been banking gas. If you continually mine gas with at least 2 drones after going speed, you definitely have enough for Spire and a nice handful of Mutalisks without needing your second gas. But once you make like an initial 6, you're stuck on one gas for making additional mutas, so you kind of need to make sure that those initial mutas stay alive while you try and secure like a 3rd base or something, or additional tech. Yeah, now we can see Vultures on the map, trying to gain control for Terran, scouting around for a 3rd base. And we're just going to go ahead and make a nice clean transition here into Goliath. Getting the armory, we're getting the engineering bay for additional missile turrets. That's good. This is right on time, right when we need it. And we're going to go ahead and get in here behind with these Vultures. And not even one of them goes down, and getting behind the mineral line is a really big deal. The drones get pulled behind and take out one of the weakened Vultures, and a full surround on the other one, but not before these Vultures get quite a couple of drone picks. And we do get confirmation on the Mutalisks. Goliath range upgrade. Goliath's on the way. I expect to see some missile turrets going up as well. +1 mech armor on the way. Gonna secure our natural expansion. Yeah, 740. It's a bit late to be grabbing a natural expansion, but of course, you know, with a 9 pull open, you know your opponent's behind as well, so it's not really a big deal. It's not exactly like we're super behind or anything. If these mutas don't manage to get any meaningful damage done, then Terran can easily wiggle their way into a position of being ahead by getting this up. But we do have a missile turret instead of a command center. We need to get this command center up as soon as possible. Ah, I got blocked. And yeah, the mutas, recognizing that there's not a lot of anti-air here, taking out the Marines, the Goliath, Now there's nothing really here to defend. There's one missile turret that finished, but that's not enough versus 6 mutas. That'll take that out easily. And now we're free to continue harassing with these Mutalisks and causing more grief. We're losing vultures for free. We're losing a lot of units for free, trying to secure this low ground. It's not quite working out. Losing what few Goliaths that we have, we're not able to achieve a critical mass if we lose our units one by one like this is Terran. We need to sit back and be patient. Finally, mutas take enough damage. One of them gets lost, 2 of them are bruised and battered. There's still just not enough Terran here to really fend them off and stop him from preventing the CC from going down. There's 2 more on the way. A 3rd base is being taken down here in the bot right. We're in an alright spot here as Zerg. 23 drones to 28 SCVs, that's good. That's really good. That's comfortable as Zerg. Yeah, and we're forced to make the command center up on the high ground. Like, we can't delay this command center anymore. It's not, we can't. So I agree with this. If we can't secure it on the bottom ground, make it up here. Just start making it. Because we're 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes into this game and still on 1 base. That only works for another minute or 2, or 3. Alright, Academy on the way. We'll be able to get scans down with that. I don't really know that we want Academy at this point. We only have 2 factories. We don't have Starport. We don't even have a 2nd base. I feel like we might be stretching ourselves a little too thin with this Academy here. We need to be focused on making a critical mass of +1 armor Goliaths and securing the natural expansion to make sure that it can mine. And look at this Insidejob 911 getting researched burrow. And planting the Zergling down here. Now, Nate can't even land this command center. He needs to put detection here. So either a missile turret or a scan needs to be made. Here's the missile turret. Mutalisks are going to come in here. That's a full group of 11. Now 10, now 9. Going to go ahead and try to deny. Should be able to take the fight to these Goliaths, even though they have the +1 armor. These mutas have +1 carapace as well. That makes them so much more robust against the Terran mech. Remember that Terran Goliath's missile attacks hit twice. Just like the Zealot's side blades hit twice. So when you get an armor upgrade, you're reducing 2 damage instead of 1. Because their attacks hit twice instead of once. So +1 carapace on mutas makes them a hell of a lot more robust against Goliaths. And now with these toughened Mutalisks and additional Speedlings in here, we might be able to close this game out because there's just not enough here in production for Terran. We're only on 2 factories. We're 11.5 minutes into the game, and I think Zerg has just got enough pressure here to really squeeze the life out of Terran. And yeah, from here, it just looks like Zerg needs to keep up the pressure and keep on the onslaught to stay ahead, and we'll close out the game in no time. No time at all. A 1-base Terran is not scary. It's one of the least scary things in the game. Alright, so this is a mistake here. Yeah, this is a nasty mistake by Zerg. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Don't ever throw your mutas away like that. Always pull them back. If anything, even if they're not useful to harass Terran or prevent Terran from doing anything anymore, and you can't use the mutas effectively anymore, you could still keep them active on the map, scouting, harassing anything else out on the map, and more importantly, preventing any future drop play. So, here we're seeing a 3rd factory go down. This command center is ready to be transitioned over the natural, and we need to start thinking about doing it very soon. Our mineral field here in the main is getting very low. 300s, 200s, 400s, it's very low. Gotta take this turret down to make a comsat. Unfortunately, Zerg, good drone count. We've got double Evo, that's ready to get started. There's Carapace, there's Missile. 32 drones to 33 SCVs. That's a terrible situation to be in as Terran. You don't want to be that close, ever. You want Zerg to be well behind you. And so, we're going to go ahead and try to secure this low ground, and we should get it. This is enough Goliaths here. We should get this, no problem. I think this has enough range for detection. Maybe? Oh, that's such a pain in the ass. It's just out of range. Look at that. Yeah, I'm going to have to make another missile turret here, unless you want to burn the scan. But I feel like almost at this point, I'd want to use the scan to see if he has Hive or not. Which he doesn't. Insidejob does not have Hive yet. And that is probably the only reason why I'm going to say Nate still has a chance to get in this game. To get back into it. As Terran, we still have a chance. We got +1/+1 on mech. That's good. There's our scan going down. And yeah, we're checking for Hive. Zerg does not have Hive 14 and a half, almost 15 minutes into the game. That's a big deal. Now we know we're not so screwed. But lo and behold, Zerg is actually massing up quite a lot of Mutalisks. And they have +2 air carapace, which is a huge deal. If Insidejob's plan is to just take these mutas and just go north and attack move, that might actually work. Given the 2 carapace upgrades, that might work. And especially if we could see that the Goliaths are out of position. Yeah! Exactly! These turrets mean nothing. These turrets mean nothing. They mean nothing. +2 armor mutas? This many? They mean nothing. None of these turrets mean anything. And we could just fly out. So good. So good, Insidejob. So good. Flying out. The Goliaths came back up the ramp. You stop Terran from pushing out. You go back out. So good. Meanwhile, we're starting to mass up Hydralisks. The +1/+1 upgrades are going to kick in very, very, very soon, which will really make our Hydras able to trade effectively with the Goliaths. We're staying kind of on par with them. And this is good, because we have so much vision with these burrowed lanes. Yeah, like we have good vision here. So really, Insidejob has Nate by the balls here. He's saying, you can't move out. Because if you move out, I will terrorize you with all of these +2 armor mutas that missile turrets do nothing against. And look, I even have Hydras to fight you. But he can't fight on low ground. The Goliaths will still definitely win. In fact, this is a really good trade for Terran. Yeah, this is a really good trade right now. Terran's getting a lot of free kills on all these Hydras. That's a lot of larvae dead now for Zerg, picking off a lot of free mutas as well. Losing a lot of units here, and Terran starting to expand out onto the map a little bit. Oh no, we're going to lose more Hydras here. This is just not good. We need to not waste our larvae. Fourth base online, but not mining yet. Third base found. Terran's on the move. Nate's marching across the map. This could be a really pivotal moment, actually. Zerg is kind of left dry. We still have 10 mutas here, but they're way out of position, and there's so many Goliaths still. And we have high ground advantage here, and we're picking off so many free Hydras. So many free Hydras! Oh my god, they're so free! Oh, don't chase. Good. Yeah, bring these along. Yeah, how do you stop this right now? How do you... We don't have Hive. We're 18 minutes, we don't have Hive. How do you stop this? There's no Dark Swarm. There's no plus armor Carapace Ultras. There's no Guardians. Not that Guardians do that well against Goliaths, but I mean... yeah, like a final stand here. Oh, this is going to be it. This is the game-deciding fight right here. And Terran has the high ground, but a lot of their units are injured. Zerg makes a ton of Hydras, reinforces and pushes up and breaks this entire contain. Zerg seizing control of this game. And with just the few Goliaths that we have, we're forced to retreat. Trying to take a third base, but it's not online yet. It's not operational. This is very exposed. And Zerg is going right for it. Yeah, and with this base being denied, that's actually going to put Terran in a bit of a pinch. They're going to have to figure out what to do. Nate's going to have to make some good decisions from here on out. Zerg siege continues. We're going to try to push in here. I don't like this with the siege tank here. I think Zerg should pull back and wait. But we are getting quite a bit of damage done. And again, the burrowed Zerg getting so much free vision here. This is awesome. This is such an awesome use of burrow. And I just don't know. If you're Terran here, this is tough. I like that we're trying to go out and take the third, but... oh, we're just going to get surrounded here from two angles. Terran clears the bottom, but Zerg flanks in from the right. And completely surrounds and cuts off the small Terran force from its main base. If we could just loop back around and maybe get up this high ground and back around without Zerg noticing, we can save these units. Zerg had an opportunity to kill all these here. Yeah, we just missed it. Unfortunate. Nevertheless, plenty of Hydras are still being fielded. We do have Hive tech finally. No Hive buildings as of yet, though. We will be waiting on that. And we have 2-2 on Zerg ground missiles. 1-1 still on Terran, and no upgrades for mech in the future. Nothing seen, so we're staying on 1-1 for a while. And Zerg being on 2-2, I think that's going to give him a bit of an advantage. And now, yeah, this really sucks. We've mined out quite a while ago, so we've still been on one base mining for Terran for a while. Not getting this third setup is probably going to be the nail in the coffin for Terran. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This game's pretty much over. The fact that we're not mining a second base right now, and Zerg is this upgraded and has this many bases. And yeah, he's just going to muscle his way through here. It's inefficient, but it doesn't matter. I mean, look at the banks. Look at Insidejob's resources. He can lose all of this. It just doesn't matter. He can replace it easily. Yeah, Nate has to GG and tap out. Not getting that third base online any sooner, yeah, it really just makes this impossible to play from the future point. Any further on from two bases, just not possible. But a good game played, nevertheless. Interesting open, long game, 22 minutes, so wasn't the 27-minute TVZ you wanted, but hey, that's pretty close. Alright, we'll slap a point down there for Insidejob. Memnon joins us now. You had to leave when you were having tech issues. Yeah, I guess today was just the day I had to update my NVIDIA video drivers. Otherwise, OBS just would not stream. I hit go live and my PC restarted. Tell me how that makes sense. Alright. Let's move on here to game number 2 in this series. We'll fire that up. Game number 2 played on Eclipse. Spawning in the top right corner is the red Zerg player. It's coming back. Insidejob 911 USA, winning game number 1. And the bot left corner is the blue Terran player. It's Nate. Gonna try to muscle his way back into the series. Maybe make it a 1-to-1. Turn it into a full 3-game series. We'll see. We'll see. I'm willing to bet that we won't see another 9 pull again. Because, again, and on a 2-player map, you have to have balls of steel to do that. Yeah, that's what I thought, Overlord. Yeah, that's what I thought. Good for you, though. Gonna play a standard macro game after securing a cheesy victory in game 1. I like it. And here, with the position of this depot, we're going to do a full wall in. The barracks will go here, and the supply will go here. We'll have a nice wall. And what that could be indicative of is... oh, he's going to put the barracks here and the depot here. Yeah, that actually makes more sense, because then the depot here will be tight with this depot here. And this is already tight. Yeah, this is better. This is better. We'll get the gas. So this could be like a starport play, almost, if we're doing a 1-base play. Because you don't really wall like this as Terran, unless you're planning on doing some sort of 1-base play. And if it's going to be a 1-base play, you're going to take your gas and tech up, because fast tech can really throw Zerg off, or even just outright kill them if they're not quick enough to respond and respect. So yeah, standard 12, 11, 10. This is a 2-hatch open for Insidejob. The hatchery first on 12, and the spawning pool, and then gas. So 2-hatch play, don't be mistaken, Zerg players. If you go 2-hatch, that's aggressive. You're taking an aggressive stance versus Terran. You're going to be relying on fast tech units to get out there and do some damage. Mutalisks or lurkers. And if you pick lurkers on 2-base, the way the tech is structured and set up, you're basically going to be all in. So, most of the time when you see 2-hatch play, it's going to be Spire. And fast Mutalisks have to be respected. Have to. But you don't have any sort of significant larva advantage. And you're often forced to try and take a 3rd base out on the map early on, around the 5-minute mark. Get that gas going. And you have to play some sort of gas game where you tech up faster and get the hive. So here we can see it's going to be a factory expand, because we just have 1 guy on gas for Terran. So we're going to go mech with a reasonably timed command center. We'll get that started. Zerg will just now start to get this mine. Actually, we're making Zerglings. And this is more than an ordinary amount of Zerglings. We're going up to minimum 8. There's actually another pair in here hatching right now. And with speed about to finish, Insidejob is doing another dirty. Yep, he's doing another dirty, folks. These should be drones. So, we don't have 4 drones. Oh my god. He just saw it. Did he actually see it, though? No, his vulture saw it, but he didn't. And we have a nice run by here. Only 2 Marines in this bunker. The Zerglings are going to surround it. 1 SCV on repair is not enough. The bunker's going to go down. The Marines are going to get surrounded and pecked off super fast. An SCV goes down. The SCV building the NAT command center is going to go down. These vultures have to turn around, but they're so far from home. 2 SCVs go down. These Zerglings get up the ramp. Nice. Round 3 SCVs go down. And Insidejob 911 getting some damage done. 4 SCVs. This is nice. We're going to delay the armory as well. Maybe. We do get a pick on one of the vultures. Oh, we're struggling to get this last vulture here. Alright, this was pretty good. I mean, we're down in workers compared to Zerg, so obviously that paid off. And this Nat CC is still heavily delayed. If anything, this is what made that attack worth it. That this is still sitting here like this. That is a ton of damage every second ticking by. Painful, painful, painful. And now what do we do? So we got Spire, Nat Gas. We got, yeah, lots of money banked up for mutas. Overlord's about to pop. Some mutas in production already. A sunken colony to defend against the vultures. Yeah, this is good. This isn't really too bad. We can just pull the drones and fight. Yeah, just pull the drones and fight. And he doesn't even get one drone. Not even one. Really good pull there by Insidejob, getting those drones behind the minerals to fight those vultures before they get any damage done. That was really good. Just before the mutas pop. 5 mutas now on the map. Get our 3rd hatchery and in a nice position to block any run-bys. So this is good. This tells me Insidejob's not comfortable taking a 3rd base out on the map, which is all right because we put the hatchery down. The most important part is that you put the hatchery down. Put the hatch down so that you get the larva. I don't care if it's at a 3rd base or if it's in your base. Put it down on time so that you get the larva. And yeah, with no missile turrets here, only the Goliaths without the range upgrade. Oh, it's about to finish. We are getting some more SCV damage done. 19 to 25. Zerg's in such a healthy position here. We're going to pull back with these mutas, not even losing one of them. Awesome. And we'll catch up and rendezvous with these other 2 here. We'll have 7. We're going to secure the 3rd base. This will be our 4th hatch. This is great. We're feeling much more comfortable. We're droning up. This is great. Okay, and now we have some missile turrets finally lined up. Unfortunately, Insidejob has 7 mutas, which is enough to one-shot an SCV. So we could just go in and swipe at SCVs back and forth, lose 1 muta and take out a bunch of SCVs. 21 SCVs to 30 drones. You're still feeling super good. 3rd base on the way. Completely uncontested and unscouted. And we are droning up super hard. I love it. I love this. Droning up super hard. 36 to 23. I don't even know. And a 5th hatch too. Oh, I love it. I love it. This is so good. We're just missing a Hydralisk and an Evo chamber. That's it. That's all we're missing. 6 here, yeah. We're just getting along real well. Terran has to replace all the SCVs that they lost. That puts them behind on furthering their factory count, furthering their tech, them pushing out. Insidejob doing a fantastic job. The burrow trick. Oh, so good. Look at this vision. He's got the vision. If Terran moves out at all on the ground, there's no way Zerg doesn't see it. This is so good. Third base pops. I hope this gas gets taken immediately. We're still short on tech, though, for Zerg. We need to either be moving towards Hive or getting the Hydralisk tech and its upgrades available. We're coming back in with these mutas. Only 6 here, though, and there's a lot of Goliaths with range. And they have +1 armor, so we can't really fight them. We do have +1 armor on the mutas as well, and now that we've consolidated with the entire group here, it's 9, we could maybe fight, but of course we see, with the Burrowed Zerglings, Terran making a push. So we'll come back home to defend. I like this. We can sit here at the top. Sunks will be ready here at the third base on the high ground on top of this ramp in time. That's great. These Sunks are definitely late, but the mutas are here to defend. And this is not enough Goliaths to fight these mutas. And going up this ramp is going to be a little bit of a mistake. This feels good as Terran, but only because you can't see what's about to come. This is your death. And now we're going to lose all the Goliaths here, and we're not going to lose very many mutas. And this puts Terran further behind. And Zerg, inside job again, droning. And we've spent quite a bit of drones to make a lot of colonies to stay alive, so we finally dipped below Terran. Terran's finally taken the worker lead, but that's still rather insignificant until Terran turns that into an advantage somehow. And just now we're getting a third factory, a fourth factory, you know, we're getting spider mines. That's probably a starport right here. Yeah. Getting +1 weapons. Yeah, we're not ready as Terran. We don't even have our natural gas. We still have quite a bit of waiting to do. Quite a bit of building to do. And this is the sucky part about playing Terran, is that it just, if you don't have the building blocks all in place, you can't really progress to the next step. At least not safely. Like, we're forced to build so many turrets here. And unfortunately, I think this is necessary. Like, it's just necessary. Oh, this one's got bad mining, so he's got to take it out. Yeah, it was blocking too much mining. But yeah, we have to spend a lot of time building these turrets and a lot of minerals, making so many, because the Mutalist threat is so real. It's very real. You know, +2 Carapace it's here. It's here. There it is. Right there. +2 Carapace. You can't fight these. These are ridiculously tough now. 1-1. Okay, that's good. That's good, but I don't know. I don't know if it's good enough to fight a huge flock of +2 Caramutas. I don't know. We're about to find out. Boys, you gonna learn today. Alright, inside job, not confident enough, so he backs out. That's good. This is a respectable decision to make because you know you're ahead right now. You've gotten so much good damage done. You know Terran hasn't moved out. You've got Hydras you're fielding out on the map. You can back these up with the Mutas. You're taking a 4th base. Yeah, there's no reason to really commit going in with the Mutas. This is an advantage, potentially, once that gets up. This is an advantage. High ground defense. You can back up with the Mutas if you need to. We're going to continue producing more. We are behind on the upgrades, though, for the Hydras. The +1 missiles just now starting to kick in. This is good. Going back in with the Mutas, forcing the Goliaths to come back up the ramp. Otherwise, you just lose turrets, you lose economy, you lose Goliaths one by one, and then once they come up the ramp, you just pull out. You pull out, and then you can do a 2-pronged attack and attack on the other front. Because there aren't so many here, and then come and support with the Mutas! This is so good. Inside Job's playing a really good game here. Yeah, just really good decision making here from Inside Job. And basically, regardless of the fact that we've basically tossed everything here as Zerg, it wasn't efficient, but I would go so far as to say that that was possibly worth it, because our 4th popped, and there's nothing to threaten this. And we have at least 5 hatches in production. I'd really like to see a 6th, though, to be honest. I guess this is the 6th. Like, now Terran has the freedom to move out and take a 3rd. But we have so much room to breathe as Zerg here. We should be going to Hive, because we eliminated much of Terran's army. They can't push and commit to a full attack against us. We should be taking this gas here. We should probably be taking the corner here. 1-1 upgrades finally on the Hydras. These are good. They can fight now. Gotta be careful about the mines. Gotta be careful. Ooh, that's a good one. 4 Hydras right there with 1 mine. Insidejob has to be very careful here because with the establishment of the 3rd base here and lots of mines out on the map, Terran might actually be able to afford a move out with the defensive mines and reinforcements reinforcing the natural. And an attack with siege tanks could be pretty strong because we can't necessarily rely on Sunkens to defend against siege tank. Look at this, even a Valkyrie fielded. The mutas are all dead, but we could send this out and hunt overlords at least. Alright, there it is. Hive on the way. That's good. I really wanted to see this. And yeah, lots and lots of Hydras popping out. More hatcheries. That's good. That's good. Send this one up to the gas. That's good. We're going to take that. Nice and defended against vultures. Creep colony. Good spread. Really good spread. That'll cover everything. Yeah, we don't have any vision on Zerg. So Terran's, again, still trying to play catch up and build up. We're going to check and see if Zerg has a 4th. They do. It's already established. That puts a bit of pressure on Terran. Because 4 gas Zerg is a nightmare threat. That's a potential game-ending threat. Alright, so the hive popped. We'll see what the tech choice is going to be. I strongly suspect it's going to be Defiler. Queen. Alright, that's good. We're getting queens. And spawn broodling. Yeah, and we're 17 minutes into this game. I think we're fine as long as Terran doesn't manage to get their hands on a 4th base, like right here. We do have vultures moving out. They don't have speed, which is rather unfortunate. We're checking the top left to see if the double gas base is taken, and it is not. +1 upgrades for the Terran. +2 mech weapons. Well, a little more than halfway done. +2/+2 for Zerg Missile and Carapace. About to finish pretty soon. Now it is worth noting that we're getting, what are these, Ventral Sacks, I think they're called? The Overlord drop upgrade. So drops might come into play, and queens are now out. There are 7. They're banking energy once they get to the 150 mark. Oh my gosh, even more queens. Yeah, we have a full control group, 12 queens here. So now Insidejob just has to wait, play the waiting game, make sure Terran doesn't get a 4th. Alright, so Nate spots the hive, does not spot the queens though. Does not spot the queens. Trying to move up here with these vultures. Speed kicks in, but I mean, yeah, like I said before earlier, the sunken colony coverage is really good. So they will be able to manage to take out quite a couple of drones. I think that was like 4 or 5. I wasn't really counting, but the coverage completely denies like a potential shutdown. Oh, here's a queen moving out. I wonder if this is for like a parasite. I bet it is. It's got to be it. Parasite's super underrated. Yeah, watch this. Yep, got him. There he is. Parasite detected. Now from Zerg's vision, we could just keep track of the Terran army. Unless Terran decides to kill that Goliath. But then you just traded 75 energy for a Goliath. And with that vision here, we can just clone the queens freely. And we do end up losing most of the queens, but I mean a lot of the tanks went down, which is crucial for countering this huge wave of Hydras here that are 2-2 upgraded versus Terran that's 2-1 upgraded. The weapons are good for Terran. That might be enough, but there's so many Hydralisks here for Insidejob 911, and he's just continuing to flood in more Hydralisks, reinforce in, and I think it's just going to be way too much. These Valkyries not going to be able to do anything in this fight. And yeah, the Hydra is going to push in and deal some really critical damage, completely wiping out the Terran army. SCVs are starting to fall now. There's nothing here to stop any of these Hydras. There's nothing up here. There's a little bit of defense here at the third, but this is really exposed too. And yeah, we're just pushing up the ramp. We snipe the mine before it goes off. That's really good. We snipe the tank. There's one over here. If we could get this tank, that's really good. We're a little bit overcommitted, but maybe not, because this could just be a death blow right here. I think this is too many Hydras. Yeah, and the queens join in too. There's way too much here. Some of these queens have enough energy to broodling, and there's just not even enough tanks. Yeah, there's one here. See ya! Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him! Go get him! Somebody get this tank! Or at least do me a favor and get the command center. Okay. Alright. This is good. Zerg's still firmly in control. Yeah, this is good. It looks like we're spending a lot of time macroing back at home, which is good. All these eggs, that's great. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see larvae like this. Bam! Good. Such good trades. Bam! Alright, so Terran manages to defend this from the main. I mean, there's more Hydras just trickling in. There's really not... There's no recourse here for Terran. We're on 5 factories. We're doing our best, our damn best to defend here against the Zerg onslaught. We fended off, but we're down natural. That's gone. We're relying really, really hard on this third base to maintain us, to keep us afloat economically. And all these queens are kind of getting caught. We'd like to save these. Yeah. More Hydralisks continuing to put on more and more pressure. Catching some of these Goliaths on the low ground. Picking off 2 practically for free. I would back off of this. The siege tank here makes this rather hard to get up. It doesn't really matter though. I mean, we're 59 drones to 30 SCVs, so like I'm just spitballing. Like all Insidejob has to do is just play very safely and calmly from here on out. And continue, yeah, with 3-3 on the way. Ultra Cavern. To dump these resources. Yeah, this is good. I'm not worried for him at all. I think Inside's got this. Yeah, I hear it. Overlord's starting to load up. I heard it. Yep. We're gonna do a droppy drop. Folks, I hope you're ready. Here comes a droppy drop. Alright, we're pretty much primed. Alright, so we've managed to go up to 7 factories, and that's good for production, but we can't afford it. Like, we just can't. I don't know why we got 2 more factories. We can't even afford 5 right now. Not on 1 and a quarter base mining. Not even, jeez. These guys are stuck. That sucks. Alright, so Terran Mech has 2-1 upgrades. There are no other upgrades in research, though, right now. Which means that if Zerg's 3-3 Missile Carapace finishes, and this Ultralisk Carapace upgrade also finishes, there's going to be an imbalance in the trades between Terran, Mech, and Zerg ground. Zerg will trade a little bit more favorably. Navane going off in chat. That Z-Bank is broken replay sized. I agree with you, but this is not a broken replay. I mean, he took good control of the map. You know, oh, he's gonna get the CC. Yeah, get it. Oh, he sniped it by accident. I wanted to see an infested CC. Boo. All right, but yeah, now that Insidejob has completely shattered the Terran third, this game's over. Yeah, trading energy for Goliaths. It's so efficient. This is so good. The 3-3 now. Yeah, that's the nail in the coffin. We're done here as Terran. There's nothing left. 3-3 Zerg. Oof. Yeah, GG gets called. Good game. Way to stick it out. Ultralisk's even joining the fray right at the very last second. Yeah, fairly close scores. Fairly close. Given how much on edge Nate was that entire game, the scores are pretty close. So Insidejob takes another game, and that's gonna close out their series. Maybe perhaps rather unfortunately, because you guys know what that means. That means we're out of games and I am done casting for the night. But it is the after Thanksgiving season, and I am on a full week of paid vacation from my employer. So, you boys know what that means? That means tons of CPL casts back to back this week, all week, almost every day. Big surprise, big drop down, huge shout out, how you like it. We're going to be doing tons of casts in the next coming days. I'm going to be putting together a huge event. I'm going to be organizing a little tournament where I give to charity based on who participates. It's going to be great. You guys have no idea what's about to happen this coming week. CPL is about to pop off, and I'm going to make it happen. All right, but, you know, with that said, I am actually out of content, and I don't have anything else prepared for you tonight. So, we're going to take off on today's stream. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow, but it is highly likely. So, keep your eyes peeled for any kind of announcement or any hint on the CPL channel, particularly general chat. Feel free to make requests in the request channel. I'll take a look at that and cast anything you guys want. I'm not ghosting Fuzzy Branch. I'm not at all. I'm about to jump on CPL chat after this. So, all right, guys, that's it for me. I'm going to end the stream. Maybe we'll do another one tomorrow, but that's going to be it for week number 3 between Shift Clique and FlashCoin Wales Tier 2. And this is Forte. That's it. I'm signing off. Good night, y'all.